Hello, Carrera Go people. I'm back here with another video. This is going to be another addition to my Powering the Track series. I guess it's probably going to... I don't know if this is the second or third video now. In the earlier videos, I talked about the different generations of PowerTrack, and I mentioned that the most current generation, the one that has the red trim on it and the horizontal inputs, is not very easy to modify. It takes somebody way over my pay grade to do it, let's put it that way. It uses a bunch of micro circuitry and, tiny little tiny little circuit boards and stuff in there. Little circuitry that I just can't, you can't really solder to it. You can't even see the doggone wires. There's nothing really you can do with that, or at least nothing I can do with that. Somebody else might be able to. But I've seen rumors and heard rumors about these other tracks, some of these older generations being modifiable. And I found on a German website where they showed pictures and instructions on how to do this. So I used the translator function and worked through it and did this to my own track. Basically what we're going to do here is we're going to remove the thermal overload protection. There's a couple of little thermal resistors in here that increase their resistance as the as the temperature goes up a little bit, and excuse me, that will sometimes cause problems with the track, especially if you're trying to run generic cars, or maybe your motor's not in tip-top shape and everything, and maybe it's starting to burn a wire inside it and it's pulling a little extra power. Well, you can still run that car, except now the track wants to keep shutting off. So it's kind of a bummer. And I'm sure other people have run into this problem before, and that's why they've come up with these mods. And also running different brands, as I mentioned. Some of the different brands, they want to use slightly different power, either more or less. And strangely enough, it doesn't matter if the car wants more or less power, it still shuts off the Carrera track. So you're kind of messed up in that direction with this particular brand, unless you do these mods. So here I'm going to show you how to do it. And once again, I didn't come up with this, and do this at your own risk. You're taking away the thermal overload protection. But so far I've never had anything go even smell remotely warm or feel warm or anything look like it's getting warm. And everything seems to be working okay on the one that I modified. And it was a really jacked unit that got broken and smashed, and I tore it apart and I said, okay, we'll just use this as the guinea pig. Glued it all back together, and it's not even melting off the hot glue that I used to glue everything back together. So I'm going to guess it's probably okay. But here I've taken a fresh one. I've already pre-popped this open so I can show you more quickly. But what you do, these things are kind of glued and snapped together. You're going to take a little screwdriver, a little flathead, kind of like a jeweler's screwdriver like I have here, and you work it around this edge. Start from this side over here, and you can see where this little mark is and where this little mark is. Both of those spots have a snap. And so if you kind of get in here and can start pulling this up with your screwdriver, and then maybe work a bigger one in there once you get it going, try to do it right by this snap, and then go pop that snap open, and you can start pulling this up little by little. And then you keep working around the edge with your little screwdriver, and you see where this snap is here. And you kind of get up under there and give it a pop. Now, you don't have to worry about anything under here getting damaged, because it's really only a couple of wires that are soldered to the track. 4 wires soldered to the track. So there's nothing you're really going to interfere with here. Now, when you get around to this point, you want to be a little more careful. Keep working this little edge with your screwdriver till you can get it all popped off. And like I said, I've already popped this one off, so it's going to come off real easy. We just work that around. Now, you don't really have to worry much about damaging the circuitry as long as you keep your screwdriver fairly horizontal in here. You don't want to dig down inside there like that, because you can see there's where your circuitry is. But as long as you're kind of working around this edge off the top, it's no big deal. Here's the 3 points where it attaches. So if you use your screwdriver right in here at this spot, pop that loose, pop that loose, pop that loose. Now you've got your circuitry exposed. This just pulls right out. It slides right out, and you can see what's going on here. And what we've got is very simple. It's really only a couple of few resistors and looks like a couple of capacitors. What we've got here, these are your 2 thermal resistors, the ones that are out here on the edge. These are the ones we need to mess with. And what it said in the instructions on this German website is that you just grab it with a pair of needle nose pliers, like this. Grab it like yay, and then start twisting. Well, got to be able to grab a hold of it. But anyway, you just kind of pull up a little bit and start twisting on it, so that these two wires will start twisting around each other. And while this is happening, you keep on twisting, and your little thermal resistor here will just kind of disintegrate and pop off. There you go. But while you've done that, now you've twisted the wires together and made a connection across that joint. We're going to do the same thing with this other side. Pull up just a little bit and then twist. Uh-oh. I think this one may have broken off incorrectly. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to actually have to solder in a little patch wire there. This worked perfectly on the first one. Of course, it doesn't work right when you try to do it on video. Well, I'm going to have to solder a little piece of wire across there now. But you see right here where these wires are still kind of just twisted together? All I'm going to have to do is just set a hot tin soldering iron down on that thing and just hit it with a touch of solder, and bam, I've made a jumper across there. And like I said, I'm gonna have to make my own jumper for this now. It's kind of messed up, but you know, sometimes things don't work out exactly the way you want. But basically, that's all you do. Once you get these jumpers across here, get those things removed, this track will operate more like a professional type track. It won't shut off on you, more like a competition type track. It won't shut off because the car sputters a little bit or something. Now here's where things get a little bit more interesting. I think I kind of managed to move the ball forward a little bit, because on the German website they were saying they really didn't know if this could be done on the other styles of the same generation that use the three inputs. And as you can see, these are very, very similar. It's just this one only has one power input, whereas this one has the two power inputs. Well, in the name of science, I had to pop this one open too, and I'm not going to go through the trouble of showing you how it pops open this time, because now you know, but I'm going to just see if I can't. There we go. I've already opened this once, so I'm hoping this will come open pretty quick. Come on now. There we go. Alright. And guess what? You pull out this circuit board and it looks almost exactly the same. The only difference is you have one power coming in that gets split to both sides, versus on this one we had two powers coming in being separate to each side. Well, so I'm going to say I'm about 95.7% sure that if you do the same modification here, these are the same little thermal resistors. If we do the same modification here, grab and twist and pull, solder those up, you can have your three or your single power input track working in the same manner and not shutting off. So that's the scoop. And any of you guys want to try it, or you have any questions, be sure to ask in the comments. I'll try to do anything I can to answer them. But let me once again qualify this by saying, do this at your own risk. This is just some other stuff I found on the internet that I'm trying to pass on because I think it's good information and it may be helpful to you. So there you go. Hope this was helpful. You guys take care. See you next time.